The weight of yarn for this is thread. Sasha Purrs 1728 is out here knitting with thread. I don't know. That is a tablecloth that you would see like a gorgeous mahogany table in a dining hall where a rich divorced father would dine alone because his estranged sons won't talk to him because there's drama about the will. Hey friends, so a while ago, I posted a video where I compared the way in which I sort of teach myself new skills knitting-wise to the way that I play video games. And I talked about sort of tutorializing myself by putting a bunch of patterns together that would teach me the skills I needed in order to defeat what I was calling my boss pattern. I have to ask myself some questions. What are the skills that I need to know when I tackle this project? What are the component parts of those skills? So sometimes a skill will have secret skills that you need to learn, and I've got to figure out what those are. And what are the lower stake projects that will give me the skills that I need before I tackle the big boss? And in this case, my Bowser is the rib lace raglan, which is the ultimate pattern, the really challenging, difficult thing that I wanted to knit for myself. And a question that I asked all of you is what your boss pattern was. I'm so glad I asked because my mind has been blown. Not just by the things y'all want to knit, but by the things that you have knit. Some of you have already defeated your boss patterns and my mind is blown. So I thought it would be fun to go through, share some of your boss patterns, see me react to them, and then talk a little bit about what my boss patterns look like beyond the rib lace raglan. Because let's be real, that's just like the first form of a boss that I have coming up. There's some stuff that I've had in the back of my head since I started knitting that I have been too shy to share with anyone. It feels a bit like Icarus flying too close to the sun. My wax wings will absolutely melt, but I'm happy to share with you what I'll be working on someday. So the first pattern I want to share is from Sasha Purrs 1728 because she's what actually inspired me to be like, okay, I've got to make a video about this because I was just shocked when I looked at this. What she said was, I did this too and I defeated my Bowser in the end. I was a brand new knitter and someone blogged about Lyra by Herbert Niebling. I was obsessed, but wow, did I have to complete a bunch of side quests to gain the skills I needed. Your Bowser will be waiting for you in level 8-8 when you're ready and you'll kick his ass. Thanks, Sasha Purrs. I really appreciate that. But let's talk about the Lyra for a second. What? What? You knit this? Okay. The weight of yarn for this is thread. Sasha Purrs 1728 is out here knitting with thread. I don't know. Also, I just need to say, I love my cats. I do. In one of the pictures for this pattern, there is a cat sitting in the middle of the finished Lyra by Herbert Niebling. If I knit a lace pattern that looked like this, and I finished it, somehow I finished it, and my cat sat in the middle of it, I would be shipping that bitch to Abu Dhabi like I was Garfield and she was Nermal. Just gone, gone, gone. Nobody would touch that. I would frame it. I don't like it. Oh my God. It's just so beautiful. Like that is a tablecloth that you would see like a gorgeous mahogany table in a dining hall where a rich divorced father would dine alone because his estranged sons won't talk to him because there's drama about the will. Like it's it's incredible. It's incredible. I cannot believe that anyone knit this with their own hands, especially not somebody who watches my videos. Just hats off to you, Sasha Purrs. More like Sasha Fierce. Damn. Victoria Vetra 88 said, such an interesting video. What you described is basically how I got started with knitting and reaching the goal of making the Stardew Valley colorwork socks by Oakwood Knits. I saw them online and wanted to have them right away, so I bought the pattern even though I did not know how to knit and only remembered not liking it in school. So I started with some yarn and needles and made a swatch to learn knits and purls. Once that worked, I ventured into knitting in the round and my first vanilla socks. From vanilla socks, I tried my first pair of simple colorwork. They turned out too tight, but after switching patterns, I got a successful second pair, and after a few more, I successfully completed the first pair of the Stardew socks. Also now, I'm addicted to sock knitting for obvious reasons. That's exactly the way to do it. Like, that's exactly how I approach things, at least. And I really admire wanting something so much that you just went out and got a whole ass skill to do it. Like, before we even look at the patterns, that says something so cool about you, because so many people would have looked at that and immediately started scheming. Like, how do I know anybody who can knit? Like, who could knit this for me? Or even like going on Reddit and being like, hey, I wonder if I could pay somebody to knit me these socks or whatever. But you saw those socks and you were like, no, I'm gonna make these myself because I want the Stardew Valley socks. And you freaking have the Stardew Valley socks now, my friend. You did it. And they are, I have to admit, as somebody who does not understand sock knitting, these are so freaking cute. Like, all four of them, I absolutely love. I can see myself putting on the spring socks on the first day of spring, the summer socks on the first day of summer, the winter socks, first day of winter, fall, the first day of fall. Like, they're just so colorful and warm and cozy and beautiful. And I can absolutely see how those would be a boss project, because just looking at them, looking at the number of colors for each of them, looking at the intricacy of the pattern, whew. And again, I can't emphasize enough how cool it is that you saw something that even to an untrained eye looks challenging, like looks this challenging, and you were like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. And you figured out exactly the skills you needed and you freaking did it. And that's so, so cool. My hat's just absolutely off to you, and my socks too, because I don't really wear socks in the house, but yours are amazing. Like, those are just great. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm just gonna power through. So, GD said that they don't currently think they have a big boss pattern, but they're working on the accordion top by Mingbi Luo on Ravelry, which they call a fairly simple pattern, but does not look fairly simple at all to me. I saw it and I immediately put it in my favorites because it's such a cool looking top. The idea of knitting side to side is really intimidating to me as somebody who doesn't swatch, because you really need to know that your row gauge is on point, like vertically, like is it row gauge? And, you know, a lot of the knitters I follow who are much better than me don't tend to really even care about row gauge because they'll just add more rows. But for something like this, where you're knitting side to side, it becomes super important. So I think you're not giving yourself nearly enough credit with this one, because it's an incredible pattern. Like, it looks very simple, but that is not a simple pattern, my friend. Tomas Ellis and a few other people brought up Marie Wallen's Yell. And I mean, it seems like a lot of people have heard of Marie Wallen. I certainly hadn't. But wow, that looks incredible. That is, and I say this in a complimentary way. I don't mean anything by it. It looks like somebody made a jacket out of a Persian rug. Like, it almost looks woven, and it looks like a tapestry or something. Like, it's so rich and dense, and the fabric and the color work is phenomenal. And yeah, like, wow. A lot of people said that if they could do something like that, they feel like they would have 100%ed knitting. And I can see it. That's way beyond my skill set. Julie Coffey brought up when she was talking about Marie Wallin that these cardigans are all steeked. Steeking freaks me out. Steeking and spiders. Like, those are the things that freak me out. Like, I see either of them and I'm just like, ugh. Why? Because the idea of doing something as incredibly complex as color work, particularly what I've seen of Marie Wallin's color work, and then freaking cutting it? Are you insane? No, thank you. Yeah, just incredible. Incredible. Not for me. Not for me yet. That is not where my gift lies. You know, I love you all equally. I don't have favorites. But I'm so happy that Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews said that their boss project was the Renunculus, because I feel like I am losing my freaking mind. Everybody always talks about how easy and fun and what a quick knit the Renunculus is. I've tried casting on the Renunculus twice, and both times it ended in tears. I unraveled the whole freaking thing. I don't understand why everyone keeps saying the Renunculus is easy. The freaking cast on that it asks for alone is bonkers. So the first time I tried it, I tried to do the cast on that it was asking for. All I could find were video tutorials. I couldn't find a single written tutorial for it. I can't follow video tutorials. I felt like an idiot. I almost cried and I stopped. The second time, I was like, you know what? How important can that cast on be? I'm just gonna do a normal long tail cast on. So I did a normal long tail cast on. And I got into the yoke and I was like, ugh, I can't do this. And again, ended up unraveling it. Like, the idea that a Renunculus is an easy beginner project is, it baffles me. It baffles me. Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews, you're gonna get there. We're both gonna get there. We're gonna get there together. I'll be so for real with you. I don't even particularly want the Renunculus. I don't think it's gonna be particularly flattering on me. I don't really wear lacy stuff, but everyone keeps saying it's like the single, regardless of how you feel about the finished object, that the pattern is written in such a great way that it's just a remarkable pattern to follow. And so the same way that I feel like, you know, the same way that people say everybody should watch Citizen Kane or you need to read the classics, I feel like I've got to knit the freaking Renunculus and it is driving me up a wall. So I'm right there with you. We are siblings in solidarity, and you and I will both get there someday, my friend. 100% we'll get there. Ola blew my mind with this one because you can't, as far as I can tell, I couldn't even find this on Ravelry. I found it on Instagram and I saw it and I was just like, that's not a thing. Like, that's no mortal knit this. So Ola said, the Hallstatt pullover by Erica Tokai. Any Erica Tokai Intarsia pattern would do, to be honest, but the day that I can pull off this Hallstatt pullover is the day I've 100%ed knitting. And I was looking at that and I was just like, that's watercolor with yarn. Like, that's not knitting. I don't know how a person does that. I'll be so for real with you. I don't even know if I could appropriately pick the yarn colors to pull off that effect, let alone knit it. Like, that's truly, truly remarkable. All of Erica Tokai's stuff that I've seen, because I definitely fell down an Erica Tokai rabbit hole after that, just absolutely blew my mind. What a remarkable gift that woman has. Just incredible. Ola, I have every confidence that you will get there someday, and I really hope that you email me pictures when you 100% in knitting. A couple people talked about the idea of tapestry crochet in general. PG Avery said that they just finished their first ever tapestry crochet Afghan for their son with an electric guitar on it and music notes and a treble clef. That's so cool. I've seen some really remarkable Afghans that were done with mosaic crochet. That's really the thing that makes me wish that I could crochet, because it seems like it's just pixel art with crochet. I mean, I know it's much in the way that saying just pixel art, like doing pixel art well is incredibly difficult. But the sort of freedom that I think you could have with mosaic crochet seems really, really cool to me. So hats off to you. That's really, really remarkable. Mary in Wilm said, I bought a cardigan kit from Little Knits that has 12 different colors, an intricate all-over pattern that has a chicken/farm scene and involves steeking. I'll be honest, that was so intriguing to me that I spent a good 20-30 minutes Googling to try to find this pattern in this kit, because a 12 color work with steeking, ooh. I mean, that's almost, that's like Marie Wallen meets Erica Tokai nonsense. That's a lot. That's a lot. Anyway, Mary says that she sorted it into a cute bag and hung it on a hook over a year ago and has been too scared to cast it on, but one day. I'm with you. We're going to talk about my boss projects in a little bit, and I definitely have the yarn for one of them. And it's just like, every time I think about it, it's like, nope, not yet. Today is not the day. Someday will be the day, but not today. Fliss625 said, I want the grain sweater really badly. It seems the pattern may be a bit tricky to understand. Many people have made videos and written about it, so it's in my favorites. And I looked it up. The grain pattern is by Anna Joanna, Potato. And it's a really beautiful, remarkable colorwork sweater, round yoke. I think the colors are absolutely beautiful. Like, she's standing in a field of wheat. Like, it's just everything that you want out of like a very, it's giving Evermore. That's the kind of thing I look at and I'm like, that, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. I want to be able to do something like that someday, but wow. Like the intricacy of the color work. It is color work, but also circular yokes freak me out a little bit. Anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. It's great that you've sort of found out that there's a lot of tutorials for it. I feel like you can do this. Someday you'll have the sweater you want. I believe in you. I don't know why I can't find the comment right now, but one of my regular commenters said that their boss project was the Even Star Shawl by Susan Pandorf. And that's almost on the same level as the Lyra for me. I mean, it's just an incredible circle shawl with intricate lace. I mean, this time it's lace weight, not thread weight, thank God. But just so remarkable. Beautiful, Lord of the Ring inspired. So beautiful, so intricate. 1,500 yards of yarn. Jesus, like that's just, it's so much. It's so much. Some of you are really into lace. That's what I've learned. Some of you are really, really into lace. It makes me feel very silly about the problems that I'm having with the rib lace raglan. But, to each their own. We're all fighting our own battles. The hardest thing you ever do and the hardest thing I ever do may be very different, but that doesn't mean that that to each of us it is not 100% the maximum hard thing we've ever done. So, wow. Hats off to all of you. Those are some really, really remarkable, really inspiring projects. I feel a little bit silly sharing mine, but I'm going to go ahead in the spirit of solidarity. So there are a couple different things that could count as my boss project, depending on how you look at it. The first one, I'm very fortunate. There was a remarkable designer. I mean, they still exist, but they no longer design, named Harper B, who a while ago took down all of their patterns and no longer sells them. But I discovered their work very early on in my knitting journey and bought a ton of their patterns because I felt like a kid in a candy store. And I was like, someday I'm going to be able to knit something like this. So my first boss pattern, I feel like if I ever knit this successfully, I will consider myself a good knitter. And that is The Kindness of Ravens by Harper B. It's so beautiful. It's all over cables, or at least all over where they're not doing the 3-color work motif. The color work, I showed this to Aspen, and Aspen had the best reaction to it, which is like, this is like a Christmas sweater, but for Halloween. And I guess I can sort of see it that way. I can sort of see where they're coming from. But really, like, I would wear this whenever it was cold enough. I know exactly the yarn I would want to use for it. I would absolutely use Art Yarn's Merino Cloud. Probably the background color would be Moody. But oh my gosh, it's just, if not Moody, then Squid Ink. But it's so beautiful. There's only 18 projects completed for it on Ravelry. I don't even honestly remember how I stumbled upon this pattern, but it's the very first one I ever saw by Harper. And I just absolutely fell instantly in love with it. In order to reach this, I do have some similar fingerless mitts that I purchased from Harper that have a very similar motif on them that I think would be probably where I'd start before tackling this. Similar to this, but it's no cables, just all over color work. The Eggshell by Catherine Clark. This is, I mean, if you're seeing that I sort of have a celestial witchy spirit, probably. This appeals so much to the me that I was in 8th grade, where I don't know if you remember the late 90s when everything was like that celestial print royal blue with like suns and moons and stars everywhere, but I freaking lived in that. That was my whole vibe in, 8th grade through sophomore year of high school. And I still just really have a soft spot for celestial motifs. And this is the first time I saw this, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I could not believe how beautiful it was. And the idea of working on something like this, again, many color work. Well, is it 2-color work? I think maybe it's 2-color work, but it's all over color work. And it's so intricate and it's fingering weight. Like, it's terrifying to me. But it's something I desperately want to make. I have not purchased this pattern yet. I did purchase the Eggshell Cowl, which Catherine Clark suggests people who are nervous about the color work make first. It's basically the same chart but smaller, and it's in a cowl. I have the yarn for it already, and it's something that I very much do want to make, but I'm just so wildly intimidated by it. Not to mention the fact this is 800 projects on Ravelry, and the average difficulty from the ratings is, most of the ratings are a 7 or 8 out of 10 for this sweater. So I think this is another one that if I can ever do this, I will feel like I beat knitting. Like that, I would feel like I 100%ed knitting there. I think this is probably harder than the Kindness of Ravens, because from what I understand, people always say cable work is easy. I don't know. It doesn't look easy to me, certainly, but the amount of color work on this sweater terrifies me, just straight up terrifies me. But man, do I want that finished object. I want it so bad I could taste it. That is a beautiful sweater. Another potential boss project. And now we're getting a little bit more into things about construction, right? One of the projects I've been obsessed with for a very, very long time. Again, I think almost as long as the Kindness of Raisins. The Kindness of Raisins is the Joyride jacket by Lydia Morrow. It's a bomber jacket. I love bomber jackets. Made in DK weight with a zipper and Intarsia. And what really put me over the edge with this jacket, because I thought it was cool, but then I looked at the projects, and Daria M did something that blew my mind in their test knit. On the panels here and on the cuff panels of the Intarsia, they added their own stranded colorwork patterns. I was like, oh shit, you can do stranded colorwork on the Intarsia panels. And that blew my mind. I immediately started thinking, because I've got this pattern for mitts that has this beautiful, luscious pomegranate motif. And I was like, oh, I could do something in like a dark, rich charcoal or brown with some dark green, and then have the panels be like a pomegranate motif, or I could put some of the eggshell color work there, or some of the raven. Like, my brain just started going a mile a minute. And this is very much, I think, a boss project for me, in that it's something that when I'm ready will be such an incredible blank slate to sort of figure out what exactly is the jacket that I want for me. And every time I look at this, I just get so excited about all of the possibilities that knitting offers. And I think that's part of what makes this a boss project for me, is not just, you know, I don't know how I'd want to modify this yet, but I know that I can, or rather I know that I want to be capable of modifying it. And the idea that all of those possibilities are open for me, and that I could knit my own bomber jacket, is just so cool to me. If I ever got there, and I mean, I'd have to figure out how to install my own zipper, which, I mean, I might go to a tailor for that. Or I might talk to my friend Alexis about it. She's sewing a lot, and her sewing is great. So I might do a trade with her where I would knit her something in exchange for installing the zipper and possibly lining it for me, actually, if I wanted it to be like a traditional bomber jacket. Anyway, this is so far outside of my comfort zone, and so something I will not make for years. But if a boss is something that you're working towards, I think this is something that I am working towards in everything that I do, because the ideas, the possibilities that it represents to me are just so huge. And then finally, and this is 100% on the construction side, is Almost Anything by Kim Hargreaves. Kim Hargreaves has done a ton of patterns for Rowan. Kim was one of the first pattern designers that I ever discovered on Ravelry. I bought a bunch of the Rowan books and magazines because I'm obsessed with how tailored and structured and wearable and feminine, but with an edge, Kim Hargreaves' work is. It looks incredibly high-end, luxurious. We all love petite knit, but I'm gonna be so for real. Petite knit could never. It just looks so luxe and refined. I know that a lot of what we consider luxe and refined is like, oh, you could buy it in a store. This looks luxe and refined in a way where I'm like, I couldn't buy that in a store. And that's what's so cool about it to me. What I will say about Kim Hargreaves' patterns is that she does not hold your hand. She is not a Ravelry pattern designer. There is no instruction, no preamble, no explanation of terms. She just jumps the fuck in. A lot of the stuff that I love by Kim Hargreaves is knitted, flat, and pieced together, because again, it's very tailored, very structured. And that's part of what makes it fit so beautifully. Kim Hargreaves' patterns require an attention to detail that I have not cultivated yet. And while none of it is necessarily harder than the Ixchel sweater or the Kindness of Ravens or even the Joyride jacket, it requires a refinement that I know I don't have yet. And I really hope that I get someday. Those are your boss projects, my boss projects. I have every faith that we are all going to get there and that we are going to get there together. If you would like to share any boss projects for you, if you've knit any of these and have any tips or tricks, or just want to tell us what your experience was like, please spill your guts in the comments. I would love to read it. I try to respond to everything. And if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment, let me know. Feel free to subscribe so you can see how we all get along with our various boss projects. And yeah, it was just really lovely spending time with you today. I hope you have a great day and that tomorrow's even better. And I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.